Back on the Steve Cochran Show, 8:35. Andrea is here. You know, Andrea, I hope I can get your financial backing on this. There's so many Cirque du Soleil shows around the world.
Yeah.
And they're all amazing. But based on what you said about this show that we're going to be talking about here in just a second, Twas the Night from Cirque du Soleil, which you said is one of the best shows you've ever seen in Chicago.
One of the
let
best.
alone your favorite Christmas show.
It's literally, it's one of the best Cirques I've ever seen. It is my absolute favorite Christmas show. I've seen it a couple times, and every year I'm just dumbfounded.
Well, this is why I need you to invest in my Cirque du Soleil for older dudes, where we'll be flying above the audience in recliners. And the recliners will be safety racked so we won't fall.
I love that.
I'm
ready to do the workshop. I can't wait
do the workshop.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait
You
to
got to workshop it and have your doctor nearby.
No, exactly. Right. No, we got to try that out. You got to make up the material.
Can you imagine the storyboard? Good Lord.
Yeah.
Theo Spencer's here. He's far too young to be a dad, and yet he is.
Yeah.
And he's throwing around his own family in this current incarnation of a holiday Cirque. But talk about why you love this show so much.
I love everything about this show. I think in addition to your performances and the story, of course, it's a heartwarming story. You know, the dad starting to read Twas the Night Before Christmas to his daughter who's getting too old. I'm using the air quotes. You know, she's more into iPads and tech. But you are the father, you know, so you're kind of the main narrator, you and your daughter, and you're going through this just fantasy, mystical world. Not only the acrobatics and everything that happens on stage incredible, but the music is just lovely.
Yeah, the music is really, really good.
And key to the show.
Absolutely. And I think that there's something very, very smart that they did when they designed that music, which was that we don't hear jingle bells, you know, like there's a lot of music in here that we know and that we love, but that we haven't heard in a while.
Right.
And it's been orchestrated in such a way that it just like you get the spirit of Christmas coming through the sound.
Oh yeah.
In a really powerful way.
By the way, I should say, do you prefer Teo? You're Teo all over social media.
Yeah.
So I apologize.
Yeah.
I know Theo is the actual name, but Teo.
Okay.
Let's call you what your name is.
Well researched. Good job.
Well, I want people to be able to follow you as well. Teo.Spencer pretty much everywhere, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And how long have you been with Cirque?
I've been with Cirque for the last 3 years. I actually started around Christmas time 3 years ago.
And had an acrobat past?
I did have an acrobat past at that point, but I'd been working for mostly dance companies up until then in my career. But before then, I was actually in a school down in Argentina. I did a circus school in Argentina.
I'm surprised we didn't cross paths there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, I wasn't in that school.
I was going to say, right, when you were performing?
When I was workshopping, what have we talked about?
Yeah.
Were you an adventurous kid? Were you the kid that would climb on everything, swing on everything, and do all that?
Oh, totally. I think that I didn't see a tree that I didn't want to climb. And I think that there was a world where I would have started doing circus when I was 6 or 7, but it's not always, you don't always know that that's an option.
Well, the other thing too, Andre, and you know this because you do see everything and it's part of your podcast and part of what you do, but there is an incredible talent, and I mean this with complete sincerity, to acting with your body and to be able to tell a story the way Cirque does it. And you should be proud of what you're doing because the things you pull off and the story you're able to tell without depending on dialogue and long scenes at a table, it's pretty cool.
It's a very particular skill, and it's something that we do with the audience. You know, that like every night is a little bit different, and the reason for that is because every audience is different.
Sure.
Sometimes I'm telling this story, I'm sitting down, I'm starting to read to my daughter, or you know, the person who plays my daughter. As you said, I'm not an actual dad.
Yeah.
And I listen to the audience, and they're just like, they're a little bit more quiet, and so it's like, okay, no, I need to look at them. I need to bring them back in. I need to tell them with my body that no, don't get distracted, kids. Don't go off into the aisles.
Sure.
We're gonna do something that's important. You're gonna enjoy this.
And you're an interesting character. You play an interesting character as well because you are the dad, and then all of a sudden, and this isn't giving anything away, about halfway through, you are using props. You know, there's a scene with a light, like a hanging lamp, and then you are just transformed into this, you know, aerial genius by what you're doing, wearing a robe, and I'm in the audience going, take off the robe. Oh my gosh, take off the robe. And you're doing this, you're suspended.
Wow, you're in a completely different play.
I know, and there's no net. And you're a professional, but do you hear the audience sometimes go, oh my gosh?
Only when I want them to.
Okay.
It's interesting. She makes an interesting point, though, because of the visceral reactions to a Cirque show. That can take you out of a moment unless you're really locked in a moment. But then again, maybe you're locked in a moment so you don't break a hip.
No, it's true that it's a really important point that you guys are coming to, because when we're doing these shows, of course, part of it is that we want you guys to live the acrobatics with us, and we want you to have that little adrenaline kick from seeing somebody do something amazing on stage. But we also know that the audience needs to feel safe. They need to trust us. They need to know that we're going to be okay. So there's a little bit of a wink there that it's okay. We do this show 10 times a week. So
how about that?
Okay, but
how about that? And not bad for a guy that we don't want to say anything. He's really let himself go. He's 385 pounds. He's 5 feet tall. Right. No, it's amazing. It's, by the way, through the 28th.
Yeah,
at the Chicago Theater. You can go to cirquedusoleil.com, or would you recommend chicagotheater.com?
Yeah.
Either one of those are fun. But get your tickets through the 28th. Don't wait. That's a great Christmas present. But give them to them early and go now.
No, the show is really, really fun. It takes a story that I grew up with, Twas the Night Before Christmas, and it brings it into the present moment for all of us for another generation to enjoy. It's a good reminder, and it's a really good show.
It's fantastic. And my cousin, who I brought for the first time, I had seen it before, but it's different every year. And I brought my cousin who's been to Vegas shows, and she said, this is the best Cirque I've ever seen. So I guess my question to you is, there's juggling, there's all kinds of performances. There's like a scene with, I want to say, light up yo-yos. There's just so much going on, and there's roller skaters. Boy, and I walk away and I think, oh my God, what are they doing? Why are they doing this to themselves? They're doing things that I can't even look. Is there a performance within the show that even you kind of look at and say, oh my God, I can't believe that they're accomplishing this.
That's an interesting question too, though, right? Because at some point, a creator must bring something to a performer where the performer goes, why don't you try it?
I mean, I think that especially with this current show, with this cast, it's this specific cast that's here in Chicago. I won't give away what the finale is, but we've got a troupe of guys that are coming in from Colombia, actually, who are all self-taught.
Is that the reindeer?
Yes,
that's the
reindeer.
So good.
Yeah. You can't tell them. You can't tell them what the end of the show is.
No, I won't. All I said was reindeer. That's all. It's not giving anything away.
But when you say self-taught, meaning they're jumping off their parents' furniture?
What I mean is that nobody taught them how to do that act. It's a very technical, very highly acrobatic act, and nobody came in and gave them those techniques. They figured it out on their own, and even that being said, there's the added layer of I watch them, and I can't believe that they can do that every night, and that
so perfectly,
and in every show for the same amount of shows that I do what I do. It's very strenuous on the body, and their execution and their level of stage presence is really, really good.
How long can you do this? Like, what, I mean, as long as you're flexible and not broken?
At least until the 28th.
Right.
Well played. Well played,
yeah, right.
CirqueDuSoleil.com. Twas the Night Before Christmas. Got a few more minutes with Teo Spencer before he goes back and thrills and delights you and everybody that goes to the Chicago Theater to see this limited run of Cirque du Soleil. Twas the Night Before. Through the 28th. Again, don't wait. And don't be shy. If this is what you really want for Christmas, tell your family, tell your friends now. And get those tickets.
Great present, yep.
ChicagoTheater.com, CirqueDuSoleil.com. Hit up Andrea. She's got a bunch in her coat.
I'll go again.
That can't be true.
It really is worth it. The show brings home what people are looking for.
We were just talking about one of your, and this is a pro tip for those of you who are listening to the show right now. If you get dizzy easily, or if you want to know how to beat dizzy, there's no way to beat dizzy because you're spinning for part of your night.
Oh, absolutely. I'm spinning for a good 5 minutes if you're looking at the whole thing, with a couple of breaks in there.
So you don't go to an all-you-can-eat buffet before the show?
We actually do. We eat really well. The Chicago Theater takes care of us very, very well.
So you eat before a performance?
Yeah, I do.
But you don't get nauseous from all that spinning?
No, you get used to it. You get used to it, and it stops affecting you the same way. People are just, chowing down on some really delicious food over there right before they're going and doing this stuff for you.
Now, I'm a grandfather. Nick's a dad of two little ones. You know, we spend part of our time just spinning kids around.
Sure.
Yeah. So, Nick, do you suffer from dizziness?
You do get dizzy.
Nick's the guy behind you. I was asking him for a reference, too, before you answered.
No, I do get dizzy, quite dizzy.
Yeah. So you do get dizzy, but you just let it go.
You get dizzy when you're spinning super fast in the air. That's one of the main things that the people wonder about with aerial arts. But the thing is that when you practice it often enough, you recover much faster. So it doesn't last like a minute or two like it does when you haven't done it. The crazy thing is that if you spin in a different way or in a different apparatus, it comes back. So, like, if I go and get on a merry-go-round or something and I spin around, it's not like I have like an advantage over anybody else. It's confined.
So it's
literally
positional.
It's confined literally just to the things that you're used to. If I go and like get on a amusement park ride, I'm going to be just as dizzy as everybody else.
Well, that's where that positional equilibrium issues come from, because each position would be handled differently by your body. And the bottoms of your feet are key to balance. We know that from science.
Yeah.
So when you stop and you land, for lack of a better word, do you feel yourself calming immediately?
When you stop and you land, it's like, man, it takes pretty much all of my concentration just to be able to create the illusion of stillness.
Right.
You know, like it's just been spinning like crazy, and you put your feet on the ground, you stop. And it's a funny moment, because often it's a very serious moment. But inside of my head, there's a little bit of panic going on. Like,
the voice going, don't move.
And again, I'd highly encourage you and Nick not to ever do anything like this, because Teo is a trained professional.
Yes. And consult your other Cirque du Soleil performers before you try these stunts at home.
There are actually circus schools here in Chicago.
I was going to ask that, because Cirque seems like a big family, and I know you travel and whatnot. Will you be on this particular show, or will you go to a different show after?
So after the Christmas season, because of course Twas only runs in November and December, I'm going to be on a new show with Cirque, which it's a secret.
It's top secret, but it's top secret. But it involves old guys in recliners. We don't want to talk about it.
No.
CirqueDuSoleil.com. Twas the Night Before by Cirque du Soleil. You got to see this. Andrea sees everything. She says best Christmas show she's ever seen, and one of your favorites ever.
I'm taking you. We're going to go see this.
We got a great show. We got a great cast. You're not going to be disappointed. Every minute is fun.
And for moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles who go, get off that couch! Let the kid jump. Just make sure the kid doesn't necessarily hurt themselves. Who knows? You could end up at a Cirque show someday.
Absolutely. You know, at Cirque, we love talking about ways that people can learn. And there's a beautiful school here called the Loft Circus.
I've heard of it.
ALOFT.
They're great.
Yeah, they're really good. They got what you need to get your kids to stop breaking the furniture.
You have a very interesting life, my friend.
Thanks so much.
And I hope you do it for as long as you want to and beyond.
That's right.
Yeah,
Thanks, Teo.
Twas the Night Before, Cirque du Soleil, Chicago Theater, CirqueDuSoleil.com. And good to meet you, Teo.